Yo guys, what's going on? It's Max. Today's video, I always say it's gonna be a bit of a shorter one and then it ends up going for a distance. I promise I'm gonna make this a shorter one. I recorded it once and I literally ran out of footage on this video. Like the video ended and I was still trying to talk and I'm like, I need to go faster. In short, I know this video is probably gonna be named something like "Our Survivor's Too Efficient," or I don't want to make it clickbaity, but I wanted to make this video in discussion to the Survivor HUD update that happened earlier this year, and kind of how that relates to like the whole gen rushing gen speed perspective of the game, because I realized that with the Survivor HUD update, I tend to notice, at least as killer in recent times, that survivors feel like they're playing more efficiently and optimally. And I do in part believe that that stems from the innate information you have with the new HUD. Most notably, I think that the HUD information that lets you see the progress of a generator happening. There was like a hot fix that was supposed to happen, but then it actually got implemented. And some people said it was going to be like too much information. I want to be clear, kind of in my perspective. I think that it was a positive change to add that update. It kind of closes the gap between Survive with Friends and solo queue communications, so most people aren't really confused. And I've noticed when I play solo queue that the information, at least to me, it really helps me to kind of piece together a macro perspective of what's going on in the game. For example, it's like you see me in that situation. My friend Thane was on hook. My friend James was on the generator. I'm in chase. And when you see that, the Atom has 100% certainty. Everyone else is in the middle of something right now. So let me go get the unhook. And it's like that kind of decision making wasn't really possible without that. You couldn't have had a concrete decision with that information because that information didn't exist. He would have just seen, there's a person on the hook, there's a person injured. Is someone going for that unhook? Is someone going for something? And I feel as though that uncertainty is kind of what made players less efficient in the past. Like if I saw that situation and I was in the Atom's shoes, or even, I put myself in that spot, like maybe I have to, especially with, like Fearmonger or something, but I'd have to get off the generator to see, okay, well, where's the hook? Let me go and grab that person because I don't want him to get the second hook. Or at least that's how I play. Sometimes I'm just left on hook to die. That's based. Like, that's how you play Survivor solo queue. But it's like that kind of decision making really helps to kind of clarify like what you're doing so you don't waste time. I don't have to get off a generator, start going to the hook for walking 5 seconds just for the guy to be picked up, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna turn around, I go back to my generator. That was 10 seconds I could have been spending on a gen, right? Now granted, it's not always about cranking gens, doing as much as you can, or the necessity for different perks to bring, but it's kind of like the decision making that players have. It's interesting. Like in this case right now, right? My friend James is on hook. My friend Thane was right next to me on the generator. The Atom gets in chase, and I know at this point the Atom probably shouldn't be trying to go for the unhook because trading, that's a bad idea. So now I just immediately go, okay, this is my job to go grab the unhook. And that kind of quick decision making that you can make with more concrete information, at least to me, if I were playing solo queue, in this case, I'm talking with friends. We were, talking about whatever random garbage here. But like that macro kind of, I guess, map building in my head would be the best way to describe it. Like, you kind of get a better picture of the state of the game when you see that happening. And I just kind of thought that was a key point that made the game feel as though survivors play more efficiently and more optimally. Now granted, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't tell you that, hey, your teammate's in position for a flashlight save, because you always have those teammates that like running around. But it kind of just got to my attention because I see a couple arguments still that people talk about generators going too quickly, and yet, like, at least in terms of the balance of the game since I've played, the only base game change they've made to generators are that gens go from 80 charges to 90 charges, kicks are from 2 to 1.8 seconds, and kicking a gen from the killer has a flat 2.5% of a gen knocked out. Like you lose that progress from a kick. And you know, I didn't play in the original health of the game, but before, like way back when, apparently like gens used to only be 60 seconds and killers couldn't even kick gens. And over time, they made generators take longer and longer. And in terms of like perks, both sides have gotten access to perks, but I always thought that it was kind of interesting that the new like killer gen slowdown perks see play, in my opinion, more frequently, or at least I shouldn't say my opinion, in my experience, the killer slowdown perks see more play than the survivor gen speed perks. Probably because they're not fun to play. I mean, no one likes sitting on a generator. I'm just, you know, kind of tossing that out there. But, you know, when I look at like the perk overhaul, like Deja Vu got reworked, that helps with gen speeds. I don't see a lot of people running Deja Vu, although I think that it has merit to be a good perk. Thalita just came out, and she has, I think it's Friendly Competition is the name of the perk, where you like, if you co-op a gen, you both get a bonus to co-oping the next gen. And it's like, they don't see play, but the more recent slowdown perks that have come, they haven't really been super recent ones, I guess, because most of the new killers are, I mean, yeah, it's the Skull Merchant, the Knight, they're good at zoning. Wesker, I think Wesker's actually like pretty high up there in terms of like better killers in the game, so he just kind of can close out games if you're skilled enough with him. But I think most recently I could think of is like Pain Resonance and, you know, like Call of Brine, things like those two perks I think are very strong, and those have become not staple, but definitely pretty well used in the meta for killer perks. And I don't know, I just feel like it's weird that it seems like the argument of gen rushing has never gone away, despite the actual changes in the game, in my opinion, like anecdotally, indicating that they're not, like, no one's gen rushing anymore. Now, granted, in this game, like you could see, we got all the gens done in 7 minutes. I don't know why the Adam was teabagging. The Ghostface was a great sport. They were awesome in the post-game chat. So that was really good. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to bring up, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, do you think that the Survivor HUD update is kind of the cause of people playing more efficiently, despite the fact that the perk choices and changes haven't really indicated a significant difference in the generator meta? Granted, Eruption was a very strong perk that I think for the health of the incapacitated thing warranted the nerf. I honestly think they could have kept the same gen regression portion and Eruption would have been healthier. I think just honestly incapacitated was the biggest part of that one. But like outside of that, it seems as though there's not a lot of talk in the fact that like survivors haven't really, I don't know how to phrase it. I guess it's like they haven't really had the tools to be more successful. That's my friend. I promise I don't teabag everybody. We were just laughing in Discord. Point aside, I promise I'm not toxic. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Survivor HUD was part of it? Do you think it's just kind of a player mentality thing? I apologize if you hear the garage, just some stuff going on around the house, but thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it if you guys made it to the end of this video. Y'all are always the best. Let me know if you have any topics for Friday. Admittedly, I'm kind of out of some video ideas and trying to think of some more, but I thought this one was one that I had on the back burner for a while, and now that I've had a little bit more time to think and digest it, I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. So, yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to keep rambling on. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate y'all watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.